Hi, my name is Ashley Pak, and I am a content coordinator on the ICF education team. Today, I have the great pleasure to interview Ben Campbell. He is a business coach that combines cycling and coaching. Ben, welcome. I first want
Hi,
to say,
Ashley.
whoa, I think you're so amazing. This is such a cool idea. I'm a huge fitness junkie, so this is something that I'm super excited to chat with you about and learn more about your business. So let's go ahead and dive in. Just kind of tell me like what's going on right now as far as like you combine cycling and coaching. Like what made you to decide to do that?
Okay, so I had a coaching client that I was cycling with anyway, and that's just how we engage with each other, and so that was just something that was happening, once a fortnight, once a month. But then I started an engagement with a new client who was a busy executive, having a great business, but he got himself into a world of hurt and was working, lots and lots and lots of hours a week. And one of the things that he said to me was that he'd let his fitness regime drop as his business got more successful and as he got busier. And and then I thought, well, he's invested, 2 hours a fortnight with me. That's probably every available moment that he's got free in his life. How does he fit exercise in? And so I went away and I got thinking and I thought, what if we cycled together like this other guy? Maybe there's a whole business here around coaching and cycling together. So I went back and I pitched him the idea and he went, I don't like cycling. And I was like, oh, that's no good. But he said, I'll go for a walk with you. So I'm still engaged with that client today, nearly a year later. And we walked together, but it gave me the idea. And so I started to do some research around health, the health benefits of exercise and what that does. And so I thought there's a business opportunity here. And so we've launched Self-Made Cycling.
That was a really great story. I was thinking you were gonna tell me that you got him to fall in love with cycling, but you got
No.
him outdoors. That's fantastic. And I'm glad that it helped spark this idea. So my my next question is, what did it take for you to adopt this innovative way of coaching? Like, I mean, I'm sure there was like some intuition, some courage. Like, this is so different. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anybody else doing fitness and coaching. So, like, what made you just go for it, you know?
So there are a few things. Firstly, I asked a lot of people. That was important. And I think in any market research around any new product or service development, you've got to go and talk to people and non-biased people too. Not just friends and family who are going to tell you it's a great idea, but actually ask existing clients, other people, randoms on the street, to find out whether or not they think it's a good idea. So that was number one. Then I had to do a bunch of research. Well, how would I do it? How do I do it safely? How do I do it so I don't kill anybody on the road, etc. We built some ride guides in terms of how safety's conducted when we're cycling, and worked out pricing and all those sorts of things. I have just behind me over here, I've got my corporate branded cycling bike with all of my corporate bits corporately painted. So there's a whole bunch of sort of businessy type things that we did as well. And then we launched and yeah, that's how we got it started.
That's awesome. Just a quick a side question to that. Like, did you like survey people or like you said that you were asking people on the street, like just
I asked,
randomly? Like,
yeah, I asked some randoms. I asked past clients, current clients. I asked just people I knew that didn't know much about my business or weren't clients. So yeah, it was a bit of a broad, diverse conversation. Mm.
was there something in your stomach that just like told you to just go for it though? Or
Oh, look, because I'm a cyclist, and that's part of my passion. I think the tax deduction was something worth doing.
yeah.
Even if I launched it and it wasn't successful. No,
Yeah.
look, it was really, I mean, the idea was born and most of it, good ideas are born out of a problem, right? With the initial executive, how do we get him, right, a better life experience, and a better business experience, through the coaching and the exercise together. So I'm just as excited, going for a walk with him every fortnight, as I am, going with a a cycling client as well. For me, they're the same thing, right? The outcome is, right, we're exercising, mental stimulation, the sharper memory, the faster learning, the prolonged mental stamina, all those things that come with exercise while we're working on their challenges. So yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah. What came first, coaching or cycling?
Coaching. Oh, hang
Coaching.
on. So in terms of my look, I've been a cyclist for a long time, probably 20 years or more. And then I've been a coach for about 3 or 4 years now.
Awesome.
Officially a coach. Yeah.
Yeah. So did the cycling idea spark the coaching idea, or was it like kind of just overlapping in a way?
It was just a way of bringing two things together that I knew to solve a problem for that client. And so it wasn't that, I had a burning desire to create something with my cycling skills. It was really a problem based solution.
Do you feel like that it innovated your coaching practice in any way?
It does, and it's really interesting. I've got one of my clients is a scientist, and one of the things that his wife had told him was that he's not very good engaging face to face across the table or at a coffee or on a Zoom call. But he's very, very good at engaging when he's side by side doing a physical activity. And so we have the most amazing conversations and coaching sessions while we're cycling together. He's not a cycler; he's a commuter cyclist. So he's not a super uber fit, climb the Alps cyclist. And we have really, really great sessions, and he loves it. And what's interesting is that we had a day when it was raining here, and we decided that we'd not do it in the rain, and we did a Zoom call. And in 10 minutes into the Zoom call, it was so awkward. It was so awkward, even though we'd known each other, and trust was there, and all those elements of important coaching conversations. The method for him, that methodology, was so awkward that I basically said, "Mate, let's just postpone this session. What do you think?" And he went, "Yeah, this is not good for me." And we rescheduled to the next week on the bike, and it was back to greatness again. So yeah, it was really good.
I like that you pointed out that Zoom was just not the way to go for that, and that you've rescheduled. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I've got plenty of other clients that I do Zoom with, but just for him, it just wasn't.
For him, yeah, I love
it
that.
wasn't the methodology. Yeah.
So what's the main impact you see in your clients? What's the difference, with regular coaching and then doing the cycling and coaching? You've probably seen a difference, right? In between the two, in the clients and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that example is one, and a very powerful one, I think. I think the other part too is that when you're moving and there's bodily exercise going on, there's more energy, right? There's more energy engaged in the conversation. Obviously you've got a lot more oxygen going into your body and into your brain. And so there's definitely a lot more energy, and I think a lot more engagement too, because you're also not in an environment typically where you're thinking about work or the other challenges, right? If you're stuck in the boardroom where you've jumped out of a meeting about something really, really important to your business, and you jump into a coaching session, it does take you a bit of time to reframe and get into a coaching conversation. Whereas because we're taking it out, we're on the bike, it's a whole new environment. I certainly think that people are engaged differently and with a lot more energy.
I love it. How does your coaching spark the aha moment? Have you seen that aha moment in your clients? And if you have an example, I would love to hear it.
So one of my clients, a director of a company, was really struggling with his day-to-day task list, the things that he was doing. He was very busy, and we unpacked a whole bunch of things about why that happened, etc. And then we went down a path where we uncovered how much value he could bring to the organisation if he focused in particular areas. And so we started to unpack his value to the organisation, and it got to a point where we worked out his contribution return to the organisation per hour was a certain dollar figure. I won't use the exact number, but let's say it's $500 an hour. And that was his personal return. And so what that day, as we unpacked that, he started to realize that for every hour that he spent on a non-meaningful activity that he could delegate to one of his team, or something that he should hire somebody else to do, that he was going to be able to return, it might cost him $50 an hour to hire somebody, but his return is $500 an hour. And so it was just one of those moments that completely changed the way that he approached his business life. And so now he is very focused on his return to the organisation and building capability inside of his organisation for other people to do where they can provide their best return.
I love that story. So do you have any advice to people who are trying, or other coaches who have like an idea and want to implement it into their coaching and the creativity part and their coaching and merge them together? What advice would you give them to just go for it? And what would you say?
I think in any new, I do some consulting with businesses on strategy and other things. And I think one of the important things to do is do some research, right? Ask people and ask some unbiased people as well about your idea, because that helps you refine the idea, work out what might work, what might not work. It'll give you some really good market insight as into whether it's going to be successful, and then give it a try. It doesn't cost, you don't have to go all big bang and create brands for it and a whole range of things, right? If it's a, go with this, what they call in software, a minimal viable product. Give it a try, see how it goes. And then you may uncover something amazing that you can bring to your clients.
Fantastic. Well, Ben, it was a pleasure talking to you. And
Thanks.
I hope everybody who's watching this for Advance also enjoys it. And till next time, if anybody wants to contact you or reach out to you, what's the best way to do that?
So they can go to my website's probably the quickest way. I've got all the social media links and links to my podcast and other things there. It's called theselfmadetheory.com. And all the stuff's on there, including some information about the cycling coaching as well.